Guillermo van Pamelen is a brilliant as ever, and he has taken second place. A huge score for him in that, very important. We're moving now to the second heat race, and obviously a completely different set of drivers. Again, some very interesting ones to watch. Now let's have a look at this. We've got Michael Weddell, who we've seen many times down from Scotland. He was actually the newcomer champion in Scotland in the minis there. He came second in class in the British 24-hour before, and his best result in the BRKC was in 2012 when he was actually third overall when it was a multi-round format. Michael Weddell, very well known to everybody, and one of the great personalities here. Carl Stevens, we've seen him many times. He was actually 87th last year in the standings overall, and obviously looking to improve on that. But he was the D-Max Heavies champion in 2019, so again another driver with something to say for himself. And then we come on to Wojciech Zerb, and Wojciech Zerb, well gosh, what can we say? He was third place overall last year on his debut, just missed out on a place in that final. Incredible, one of the two racing Zerb brothers from Poland who excel at level. He was actually the Polish gearbox karting champion in 2017, so he really is someone with quite a pedigree. Kevin Geli-Rufat is actually, would you believe it, the iRacing Formula Mazda world champion from 2014. He's coming over from France, from Saint-Malens there. And Sebastian Raken, now we've seen Sebastian Raken here a lot over the years. He tends to run mid-pack towards the tail, but a great driver there. Now the times are coming in. We're going to have a look. It's Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays, who's provisionally on the pole position. So Tyler Mays has taken the provisional pole from Dwayne Stoddart. Oh, Dwayne Stoddart's been pushed down. Tyler Mays has been pushed down by Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley is a track champion. He's been beaten by Wojciech Zerb. Wojciech Zerb has taken the provisional pole. So from Lewis Manley, Adrian Suzuki, Michael Weddell comes into third. Matt Box, another one making a debut. Now Matt Box is someone we've not seen here before at all, and he's a regular at Team Sport in Bristol, so he knows his way around an indoor track, but not Formula Fast here at Milton Keynes. It's an incredible performance at fifth to push Tyler Mays all the way down to sixth place. Incredible there. Tyler Mays, one of the top British drivers normally. He's been pushed down sixth, so really from his point of view, he's got a lot of work to do in this race. Carl Stevens is down there in seventh place. Dwayne Stoddart, he's been here a number of years now. He's in eighth place there. Sebastian Raikkonen is one further back from him in ninth place. Sebastian, of course, he's the one who races in the various international championships. He was out in the Polish championships, for instance, last year. And then Kevin Geli-Rufat there in 10th place, the Frenchman down in 10th place, making his BRKC debut. So this is going to be quite exciting. We've got Wojciech Zerb. Now Zerb, really, he's well, got to be one of the favourites to win this, but he's going to have to fend off Lewis Manley and inspire Michael Weddell there in third place. Michael Weddell, of course, great friend and usually teammate with Alex Van Gien, but not this time around. Now, they're going to take the start. It's Zerb, the Polish champion, who's taking the lead there, and Lewis Manley, the track champion, is in second place behind him. So they're going to take the green flag. They do. The green is on, and it's a good start there. It's Wojciech Zerb. He's leading the way. Lewis Manley trying to attack, trying to defend at the same time, because he has Michael Weddell. He knows Michael Weddell is the sort of driver who's going to try and make up places straight away as they leave the snail area now, and they're heading towards the backstretch. Now, what will it be coming down the backstretch? Will we see some almighty lunges? We do see some crazy lunges down here. No, they're all in line astern. They're all pacing themselves nicely through that. Sebastian Raikkonen, they're bringing up the rear. He's one of the Scruffy Bear team drivers, and they complete that opening lap with Wojciech Zerb. Wojciech Zerb, the first of the two racing brothers we're going to see so much of this weekend. They've come over from Poland. They actually came over a couple of weeks ago purely to do some practice, then flew back to Poland again. That's how very seriously they take their country and this event in particular. So Wojciech Zerb, he's in the white helmet, the black suit, and there's Lewis Manley behind him. Lewis Manley, has to be said, one of the British hopes in this event. He's come close to winning before. He's won heat races, he's won semi-finals. He's been right up there. He's been dogged by illness in the past, but now he's fully fit. He's fully fit and back and meaning business. He's following Zerb as Zerb tries to break away from the field. They've gapped Michael Weddell, but Michael Weddell has got Adrian Zdziewski, the pole, Matt Box and Tyler Mays behind him. I'm talking of Tyler Mays. What's happening with Tyler Mays? He's going to have to make some moves pretty early on. This is running 6. He's on the back of Matt Box. Will that start down here? No, it doesn't. There's Weddell. There's Zdziewski and Box behind, followed by Mays. So there's the leader, Sherb. There's the second place, Manley. Sherb across the line, Manley. Now that's the gap to third place, fourth, fifth, sixth. And sixth, of course, is Tyler Mays, usually one of the British hopes. There's Dwayne Stoddart just going through. Dwayne Stoddart, we've seen him so many times over the years. He's usually round near the tail, but he's looking to make inroads in that. In fact, there's Sebastian Raikkonen just in the corner of the screen there, seemed to make a move there on the French driver, Kevin Kelly-Rafat there. So, continuing the same positions, Wojciech Sherb is doing his absolute formidable best to pull away. He's crossing the line now. Lewis Manley is in pursuit, less than a second behind, and then there's a second and a half really until you get to Michael Weddell and Adrian Zdziewski, Matt Box, Tyler Mays, that gaggle behind, and that really is where the race is at the moment. So there's Sherb, there's Manley, now here's Weddell, and then Zdziewski, Box. So at the end of the straight, there's Sherb turning in, and a great view of the tail of the karts. There's Stoddart, we're looking at the back of Stoddart there, Dwayne Stoddart, and there's Sebastian Raikkonen. Sebastian Raikkonen in 9th place, just going down the back stretch with Kevin Kelly-Rafat, the Frenchman, behind him. So there's the back stretch, no one in the pits yet, so we can see there, very empty pit lane. Now here's Wojciech Sherb, now he's coming off the snail section. There's Lewis Manley, keeping him in sight, and there's Michael Weddell with that little bit of a gap to Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley, one of the best around the Formula Fast here, a multiple champion, 3 times champion, I believe, of Formula Fast. But I'll double check on that. He has won so often around here, it's hard to tell. There's Tyler Mays, the 13 driver there. Tyler Mays, one of Britain's hopes. He's all over the back there of Matt Box. Matt Box, a debutant here in the British Rental Championship. He's finding his feet. This is his opening heat race for him. And each driver, of course, competes in 1 heat race per round. So, onto the stretch. Coming off the snail section, and then it'll be onto the back stretch. There's Raikkonen in the blue suit, and he's making a bit of a gap over 10th place there, Kevin Kelly-Rafat. So, down the back stretch, Sherb, Manley, Weddell, Zdziewski, Box, Mays, and then of course it's Carl Stevens, followed by Dwayne Stoddart. We're looking at Tyler Mays. Now Tyler Mays has Carl Stevens behind him, but some way back, we'll look at it. So there's Mays, a gap, there's Stevens. So Tyler Mays has no one really challenging him, so he's free, if you like, to work on Matt Box without the pressure of, if it doesn't work, he's going to lose a place himself. So, no pit visitors yet. Everyone's going for the bit of a long run here by the looks of it. Sherb certainly has no reason to pit. He'll be more concerned about where he comes out. He would like to make a big enough gap so he can come out without being in the middle of a back of the field battle, especially this one here. He would not want to be in the middle of this. So Sherb theoretically is going to stay out a long time. I'm sure Lewis Manley now has the racing brain to follow suit really there with Sherb. He knows that Sherb is good. He knows that Sherb knows exactly what he's doing. It has to be said though, Lewis Manley is another who knows what he's doing. So watching both their strategies will be important. Now it does seem that there's a bit of a gap broken out there behind Adrian Zdziewski. And that will mean Matt Box and Tyler Mays are fighting away, but there's a couple of karts now between them and the Polish driver Zdziewski. So, no, they've closed back in, It seemed that there'd been a gap opening up, but it's closed back again. It's still definitely a breakaway with the 2 leaders, although Lewis Manley himself is being dropped by Wojciech Sherb. Wojciech Sherb doing exactly what he needs to do to get maximum points in this heat race. He's got some serious competition coming up and needs all the points he can get now. There's Sherb. There is Manley in the red suit. There he is, Lewis Manley, one of Britain's top hopes, crossing the line again in his pursuit of Sherb. It's going to be very interesting to see what they decide to do in terms of pits. Will Lewis Manley actually be settling for second already? It sounds a crazy thing, but he may well already think, well look, I'm going to get a lot of points for this. My main priority here is to stay ahead of Weddell, Zdziewski, Box and Mays, and not really worry too much about Sherb. However, Lewis Manley, he always wants to win. Now, Sherb is staying out, so is Lewis Manley. No pit visitors yet. It's going to be a long way into this race before we get the first of the pit visitors. But yes, we've got one in now as I speak, and it's Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays clearly feels that he's actually quicker, and he would like to stay out the others to stay out a little bit longer and him try and make inroads. He's come out ahead of Sebastian Räikkönen. Is Räikkönen going to challenge him? He's not. He's going to stay behind Mays. Now, this could be good for Sebastian Räikkönen because with the best will in the world, it has to be said, Tyler Mays would have to be assumed to be faster than Sebastian Räikkönen. And so he will actually be wise to follow Mays and let Mays pull him along. Mays will pull him along to a higher position, maybe that he might have got himself when the pit stop cycle out. So I'm expecting Sebastian Räikkönen to stay out for quite some time. As long as he's got sort of Tyler Mays pretty much in sight pulling him along, that'll be to his benefit. A recap with 12 laps in the books on this race is Wojciech Szczerb, the Polish driver, one of the top drivers from Poland, one of the two Szczerb brothers. He's been followed there by Lewis Manley by a second and a half. Lewis Manley is now dropped to a second half. Now there's Tyler Mays on screen. There's Sebastian Räikkönen just trying to keep him in sight. So Sebastian Räikkönen, wouldn't be surprised if he starts setting his quickest laps. He's a little bit slower on that one, but he had to obviously check up a little bit after Tyler Mays came through. So yes, it's already a very good lap there by Sebastian Räikkönen. He's really going fast behind Mays. Mays pulling him along, but Wojciech Szczerb continues in the lead. He's actually extending his lead over Lewis Manley. And so Wojciech Szczerb there, and that's the tail ender there in the form of Kelly Ruffat from France. So Räikkönen now losing a bit more time, so it probably won't be too long before he's in the pits. There's Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays. It's a bit strange to see him further down the order. He's running 8th, yes, but he's yet to make a pit stop. Others have made stops in front of him. He's certainly been a multiple champion in karting, Tyler Mays. The list is very long when it comes to results and stats on Tyler Mays, but suffice to say he's one of the top-rated Brits indeed. So Szczerb, a new record for Szczerb. Szczerb is fast in this race with a new personal best lap. Lewis Manley, on that previous lap, he was 10 per second slower than Szczerb. In fact, you can see that gap is really opening up now. It's 2 seconds. There's Szczerb. Szczerb, the Polish driver, Wojciech Szczerb in this case. We have Michael Szczerb later on. There's Lewis Manley in the red. And then, of course, Michael Weddell. Now, Michael Weddell has sort of maintained the 2 second gap. So Lewis Manley has actually now found himself in the situation where he's halfway in between the first and third positions, so it's a fairly even gap now as we watch Szczerb onto the backstretch. So there's Szczerb, he's got the entire length of the straight. There's Manley, should be in the length of the straight, and there is Weddell. And then sort of a little bit closer, but almost the entire length of the straight is the 4th place Suzuki. So this really is quite cat and mouse now. It's going to be down on the pit stops and potentially the back markers. The back markers, of course, being Kevin Kelly Ruffat and Sebastian Räikkönen. I'm expecting Tyler Mays to sort of pull away from that. He is out of position, albeit at 8th place. That would therefore consider him the next on the list, but he will be moving forward. He'll be running a similar pace to Szczerb. In fact, I'm going to check on that. Yes, he is. He's only 3/10 off Szczerb on the last lap there, so it's very, very close indeed in terms of time on those, albeit distance on the track is huge because Tyler Mays has pitted and Szczerb has not. A new record there. New record lap for this race by Wojciech Szczerb. Really is trying to extend that lead up. Now, in an ideal situation, he would be making a pit stop around the 10-second mark, maybe slightly faster. Now, if he can put 10 seconds to Lewis Manley, crazy though that sounds, he has managed to make an incredible 2.5 seconds already. So if he can pull anything like a 10 seconds, that would put him really clear. He'd be in and out of the pits without even dropping the lead. However, as it stands, if he was to come into the pits, he would come out right behind Carl Stevens, which is the 6th place. So it probably wouldn't be in his interest to do that right now. He's certainly going to see that. He'll be looking across the track, seeing where he is relative. He'll know, well, it takes me 10 seconds to get from this point to that point. So if he looks at that point, if you like, he'll be able to see where he will come out, and he can see exactly what is there at the time. So right now would not be a good time for Szczerb to pit. So it's very unlikely we will see the Polish champion into the pits anytime soon. However, as he continues to go faster, he will create a gap in that area where he's going to come out, and that might be what he goes for, knowing that he'll come out in some nice clean air. And there is Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays there, a huge lunge on Dwayne Stoddart. Tyler Mays making up a position into 7th place there. So there's Tyler Mays in the predominantly green suit, followed by Dwayne Stoddart there. You can see Tyler Mays is really fast. Let's have a look at those times. Tyler Mays, well, a 32.5, of course, it will have cost him a little bit of time making that move. We can expect him, he is very fast, he's one of the fastest in the place, so we can expect him to start pulling away from Dwayne Stoddart. He's already made up a couple of kart lengths over Stoddart on that backstretch. As we're looking again at Tyler Mays out in the pits, that's the 17, that's Carl Stevens now. This is very important from Wojciech Zierb's point of view, because Carl Stevens was one that he was going to come out around if he was to pit now. So he will see that, he'll be looking across the track, and now see he's got a bit of a clearer area there. He'll know that Stevens has been in the pits. Now, Zierb, 22 laps in, we're looking at Tyler Mays. That's Lewis Manley. Lewis Manley from second place. Lewis Manley is in the pits. That's the second pit stop, the second stop in the same pit has to make. So Lewis Manley is out and back on the track. And Lewis Manley resumes in 5th place. Now, he's 13 seconds behind the race leader now, as we speak. The start line, of course, being right after the pit exit. So, Lewis Manley is in 5th on the road. In front of him is Matt Box, who's about 4 seconds literally on the road in front. So that's going to be crucial, because Matt Box, we know, has not pitted. Lewis Manley has. Manley won't really want to have to fight his way past Box. He is running faster than Matt Box, but he won't want to have to fight his way past the debutant. He knows he's, a couple of seconds ahead before he made his pit stops on Weddell and Suzuki, but he won't want to lose any time behind anybody. He does not want the others making up time as he's sort of coming away from his stop. Those in front of him have yet to pit, of course. That will be including race leader Wojciech Zierb. Now, Wojciech Zierb, he may well choose to go for the very late pit stop here. Creating a big lead has given him options on that pit stop. He probably will come in, given the lead he has made, he's likely to come in when he starts catching the back marker. He just doesn't want to lose any time at all. Pretty much in the bag as far as you can say. Lewis Manley, of course, will be giving it his formidable best, but Wojciech Zierb is the fastest on the track. He will know that at 32.0 in the pits there. It's Dwayne Stoddart. Now, Dwayne Stoddart is coming in from 8th place. He's dropped to 9th. Sebastian Raikkonen has moved ahead. But Kevin Ruffat is crossing in. He's crossing the line now, but that's not enough to catch Dwayne Stoddart. Dwayne Stoddart has just about held that position over the course of his pit stop. He is a lap down, as we know, and obviously his main concern is what's going to happen with Sebastian Raikkonen, because he will want to pass Raikkonen when Raikkonen himself is in the pits. He doesn't want to have to fight his way through. He's going to want to have to, he's going to want to be able to take the easy option of passing in the pits. I think that may occur there for Dwayne Stoddart. Now in the pits, that's Raikkonen as we speak. Now, Stoddart has passed him. So is Kelly Ruffat as well. So actually, Kelly Ruffat has taken the place. Sebastian Raikkonen is down 21 in the pits. It's Michael Weddell. Weddell pitting out of second place, pushed himself down to 4th. No, he's down to 5th. Manley has passed him. Manley has passed Michael Weddell. Michael is in 5th. The Scotsman in 5th place now on the road. There are some ahead who've yet to pit, including the man we're looking at. It's race leader Zierb. Wojciech Zierb there is crossing the line. He is yet to come in the pits. He doesn't on this lap either. Wojciech Zierb, a good opportunity to make up a lot of points. He can't waste this. Into the pits, it's the 10, and that is the Frenchman, Kevin Ruffat. Kevin Ruffat is in the pits. He drops to 10th. Sebastian Raikkonen has managed to get ahead, and there's Weddell going through, and Kelly Ruffat continues on his way. Now he's ahead of Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays probably wouldn't have wanted to see this, because Tyler Mays is in pursuit of Michael Weddell, but he's now got the Frenchman, Kevin Ruffat, albeit a lap down, in between him. And so Tyler Mays will be on a bit of a mission there to try and get past the Frenchman and make up time on the Scotsman, Weddell. Tyler Mays down in 6th place. That's not normally what I'm seeing. Into the pits, it's the race leader. It's the race leader. No, it's sorry. It's not. It's Matt Box. And Matt Box, he's shaking his head. He's shaking his head. He's not happy with the pit stop. He's lost a place to Tyler Mays. Tyler Mays has done exactly what he needed. He needed a big problem pit stop there. Matt Box, the shake of his head suggests he wasn't happy with it. It gets very slippery slidey, but it is Zierb this time. It is Zierb, the race leader in the pits there. Very similar helmet to Matt Box, but this time it is Zierb, and Zierb comes out, surely still in the lead. It's Suzuki. Suzuki's all over the back of him. Suzuki is going to take the lead. No, he stays behind Zierb. Another Polish driver. It's the Poles 1 and 2, but there is Wojciech Zierb just staying ahead of Adrian Suzuki there. As into the pits then, Matt Box, another pit stop. It must have been a penalty on that stop. He's been given the flag. If he overshoots the markers there. He has to make 2 physical stops during that one visit to the pits. If he there's a little box area and you've got to stop within it. It's very easy to come in too fast and slide through it, or even stop too early if you're a bit heavy on the brakes. So Matt Box clearly has had a bit of a pit lane infringement. We saw him shaking his head. That must be what it was all about. He knew it. He's been flagged back in. This is going to hurt his result big time. It really is. It's to Tyler May's advantage, of course, and Tyler May's ahead of Kart's teams and Matt Box. Matt Box is still listed as 7th, but we'll see what happens when he crosses the line again. There is Wojciech Scherb. A superlative performance in this, the 2nd race of the BRKC 2020. Wojciech Scherb there. Edwin Sajewski is in 2nd place, but he's really close. Scherb is pulling away visibly, but it's Sajewski who's there in the predominantly yellow suit behind. So the bright yellow suit. Now, they're coming up to lap Dwayne Stoddart. Sajewski could close in here. There's Lewis Manley in 3rd place. Here he is now in the red suit on screen. There he is, Lewis Manley. And then that's Sebastian Raker lap down. But there's Weddell. Weddell is in 4th. Michael Weddell is in 4th. And then it's Tyler Mays. Now, can Tyler Mays make inroads on Weddell? It's going to be a Titanic scrap if he does. There's Weddell just turning in, but it's a huge gap there to Mays. I don't think he can do it in the time remaining, but we will see. In the pits, though, it's Sajewski. Sajewski pits from 2nd place. There he is in the little inset there, and he comes out behind Weddell. Surely, it looked like, yes, he is. He's behind Michael Weddell. Michael Weddell moves up to 3rd place. The Scottish driver there is back up into 3rd place. Very good move by him. And we look at Lewis Manley, who's 2nd. There, Lewis Manley. He has made his pit stop. He's all alone. There he is. But look what's happening behind. Well, there's Michael Weddell in 3rd. Michael Weddell surely is not able to close in on Manley. He's got 3 seconds to make up the gap if he can. He will be trying. And there's his friend in the background, Alex Van Gien. Alex Van Gien not in the same team as Michael Weddell this year, but because there is a team prize. But Michael Weddell certainly very much a fan favourite here at Milton Keynes and a good friend of the aforementioned Alex Van Gien. So here's Lewis Manley. He's all alone on the backstretch. We can see that. There's Michael Weddell. Now, can Michael Weddell make some time up? Let's have a look at the times. Michael Weddell is a little bit slower on that last lap. Oh, into the 31 second. That's the fastest lap we've seen so far today by the race leader, Wojciech Scherb. Wojciech Scherb is setting record laps in order to cement his place in 1st place. He needs the points, maximum points from this race if he can. Wojciech Scherb doing what he can. However, Michael Weddell is trying to close in on Lewis Manley, but Manley managing to hold him off with a string of personal bests. There's Sajewski there putting a lap down on the Sebastian Raikkonen, who is running 9th himself. So Dwayne Stoddart across the line. And a bit of a gap there behind Stoddart. There's Manley, who is a lap ahead, of course. Wojciech Scherb coming away from this now section there. There's Dwayne Stoddart, who knows a lap down. Now here's Lewis Manley in 2nd place. Wojciech Scherb onto the backstraight. We're looking at Wojciech Scherb, the Polish gearbox kart champion, shifter karts as they're known in the business. Wojciech Scherb, obviously no gears on this one. It's just one drive. Wojciech Scherb doesn't need gears for this, but he's doing absolutely fantastic. And there's Lewis Manley. And then, of course, Michael Weddell. But I don't think Michael Weddell can actually close down Manley. Yes, he's ever so slightly faster this time, but it's only by 100th of a second. So Weddell clearly is trying. Lewis Manley is having to pull out all the stops, setting personal bests all the time to try and close in on him. Certainly, Sajewski there in 4th place is not really able to make inroads, which means nor is Tyler Mays, who's 5th. Tyler Mays seemed a little bit down there for what we usually do. Here is Michael Weddell. He has been around a long time as Michael Weddell. And the checker flag is out. Wojciech Scherb takes the win there. Lewis Manley 2nd. Michael Weddell does get 3rd. And Adrian Sajewski is 4th. And Tyler Mays in 5th place. So the conclusion there does give the predicted result, it has to be said, to Wojciech Scherb from Lewis Manley and Michael Weddell. Michael Weddell will be pleased with that 3rd place. And he's switching between karts and cars. This is usually his only kart event of the year, and he'll be very pleased to open up with a 3rd place there. Now, Kyle Power down in the pits. Kyle, have you any opinions on that race? So how did it look from where you were? We saw a pit lane infringement there for Matt Box. Did you see what went on?
Yes, I think he just got a yellow light on the first pit box, so he had to come in and do it again. He was not happy with himself. That was a bit more of a spread out race. Commanding victory from Wojciech Scherb. but he has declined an interview, I'm afraid. He doesn't speak English. So
How is your Polish?
Appalling, if not non-existent.
It might be interesting if you get a chance to speak to Matt Box, because we do see pit infringements. They've been practicing all week, but you know, it does happen in the heat of the moment. Did you see what actually went wrong there?
I think he got a yellow light on the first pit box.
Yeah, did he overshoot it, did he?
I think he went a tiny bit early.
Right,
From what I
yes.
saw. I'm just going to try and grab Michael Weddell. He finished in third, and also Lewis Manley finished in second. I just need to find them out from the crowd.
Absolutely. Well, we'll let you get on with that, and if you can, the chat with Box would be good, although he's probably going to be pretty grim. But yeah, if you've got him now, so if you've got one of them now, there is Michael Weddell down there with Carl Power.
Yep. I'm just letting him get his helmet off. So, hey, I'm just here with Michael Weddell, a very strong third place to open your account. How did that look from where you were sitting? Looked a bit serene and dull from where I was sat.
Yeah, my first laps were a bit scrappy and a bit useless. Let Lewis get a gap, but once I kind of got in the groove of it, it was quite uneventful, really. It was kind of in no man's land for the whole race, just by myself, but I'd rather have races like that than have pressure behind, so I'll take third place.
Indeed. Are you liking the new Formula Fast lap timers on your steering wheel now? Is that something to keep you amused during the race when you're trundling around on your own?
I mean, it's really good, especially for qualifying, because you can see, well, I'll never see purple, but if you see purple, you're obviously got the fastest. But, I mean, yeah, no, it's really helpful when you're going around. You can just see you're still going quicker and quicker as the race goes on. So it's really quite helpful.
Oh, brilliant. Well done. Congratulations. I've got a medal for your efforts. I've also got Lewis Manley, who finished a strong second place in that race. Yeah, brilliant. So Lewis, that looked like a tough race. You pitted slightly earlier to try and gain some time on Gerb. Didn't look like it worked out for you. What do you think? What have you got to say about that?
Felt a bit of a quiet race, really. Just had no answer to Vortex, so credit to him. He pulled away from the start, so second was always going to be the max I could do. Tried to keep up with him, but he just had the raw pace on me, so as he pulled away, so I just had to consolidate my second, so I made sure my pit stop was all right, so made sure it was both greens, and that's what it was. So second is not too bad for me, so happy with it. So hopefully I can go one better in the next one.
Are you confident you're going to make the final? That's a strong way to open your account.
Of course, that's always my target, because my target is to win this thing, because I've been trying so hard since I started here, so I've just got to hope to get a win so I can be higher up in the rankings.
Okay, congratulations, Lewis. I've got a medal for you here. Cool. Okay, well, back up to you, James. The drivers are getting ready to go out for the qualifying laps for this next race. It looks like it could be a cracker.